All right, I think we're up and running now. Man, YouTube was acting funky tonight. Really slow to start the live stream, not wanting to cooperate. I don't know what's going on with it, but anyway, we appear to be up and running tonight now. We have just one break tonight. We've got one new release for the day, but it's a large case. We're going to break half of it. It's going to take us a while. So yeah, that's why we're starting super early tonight, of course. A little bit of information to go over before we start breaking, so let's get rolling with that. Feedback. It is set to be automated, or rather, it is automated, which means that it is set to automatically post positive feedback for you whenever you leave positive feedback for me. So there you go, win-win. Through the wonders of automation, you never have to wait on me. And of course, the second thing there is to say thank you. Always appreciate you being here, bidding, breaking, chatting, and hanging out with me. We are taking a look right now at what's coming up in the days ahead. So tomorrow night, we're going to open Phoenix Football Master Case. Listen, a Master Case is just 2 8-box cases in a bigger box. Panini likes to do that sometimes and call them Master Cases. But really, that's what it is, 2 8-box cases in a bigger box. On Friday, Flawless Basketball comes out. We'll break a half case of that along with a 12-box case of Prism Football. On Saturday, we're going to break the back half of this case of Hoops Basketball. Obviously, we're breaking the first half tonight. We'll finish it up on Saturday night. On Saturday, we'll be starting at 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific, and it will be the same as it was tonight. Veteran Base doesn't ship to the teams, and that has its own bidding category. Sunday night will be an off night. Monday, we're going to open Leaf Best of Baseball, another case of Immaculate Basketball, and Gold Label Baseball. Each of those by the full case on Monday night. So that is what you need to know and what's coming up in the days ahead. Here's what you need to know about what we're opening tonight. So Hoops, it's a kind of a big break. There's a lot of cards in here. Even with not shipping Veteran Base, there are a lot of cards. I'm going to try very hard to get this out to you on Saturday. And if something happens and I can't get it all done on Saturday, of course, it would slide to Monday, but I'm hopeful that I can get it on the way to you Saturday. As always, if I get lucky and it gets done sooner, I will, of course, ship it on the way to you sooner. We don't need to worry about consolation cards in this break because everybody's going to pull cards. There's a ton of cards in here. So this is a 10-box case of 2019-20 Hoops Basketball. It's a half case breaks. Break number 1. Product just came out today, of course. Ended tonight on eBay Wednesday night, the 6th of November. Breaking it at 8 Eastern was our start time. Team names are there on the left. Winning bidders are across from each team on the right. BR Dunn has got a ton of teams in here. And there's several of you, actually, that have multiple teams in here. And so those of you that have a lot of teams, you're going to have some really probably pretty good sized packages coming your way. And definitely down here, Veteran Base only. That's going to be a huge package shipping out as well with tons of cards in it. So just as a reminder, the Veteran Base goes to that bidding category. It does not sort and ship to the teams. Everything else that isn't Veteran Base will sort and ship to the teams as normal. All right, one last little piece of, I started to say piece of info. It's not really a piece of info necessarily. One more little task I have to complete, and that is changing up the focus. So that's why your background went out of focus a little bit. It's going to let us look at our cards up closer than we might ordinarily be able to. So this is a new case of Hoops, and generally when we start a new case, we take out the boxes, number them, use random.org to figure out which is which. But there's 20 boxes in here, so I think we're going to do this a little differently tonight. I'm going to see, and then we're going to cut into this and see how this is set up, if it's left, right, or what. Yeah, so it looks like we're set up as left to right on this case. So in that essence, we're going to use random.org a little differently. Instead of typing in 1 through 20, which might take us a while to sort out, we're going to type in left side of the case, right side of the case. All right, and anytime I do random, if I have fewer than 10 items in a list, I randomize it 3 times. First 2 don't count, only the third one will count. That's what we'll do here as well. So you can ignore the first one and ignore the second one. Here's our third and final. 3 times brings us to the left-hand side of the case. So tonight, that's what we're going to take all the boxes here out of the left-hand side of this case. All the boxes that are on the right-hand side will be part of our next break of this product, which is going to be Saturday night. I got to get way down in here to get the one out of the bottom, so bear with me a second. Oh, brother. It's a little harder to do. I may have to take out the ones on the right and put them back in to get the last one out on the left, because it is jammed in there. There we go. All right, give me just a second to get the ones I just had to take out to reach that one back in their case. Let me get it off the table, and we're about ready to roll. Jay Allen is here. Hi, Jay Allen. You need the Blazers tonight, little Portland Trail Blazers. All right, my friend, I will do my best. So, hoops, we are looking for 2 autographs per box. It says on average. Panini loves to say on average, and that's because it's a little CYA for them. So, if they were to short us a hit, they're covered, right? Because they say on average. I have had that happen before. Actually happened last year with hoops, where occasionally they just wouldn't put a hit in there. We'd be short one, but fortunately that doesn't happen very often. And if we find points cards tonight, that's another thing that can happen. Points cards can replace hits. If that happens tonight, any points cards that we pull will simply be given out using random.org at the end of the break. So first things first, I'm going to get quite a few of these out of packs before we start looking through them, because there are not very many cards per pack, and if we otherwise do this one pack at a time, we'll be constantly opening and never looking. So instead, we're going to get a pretty good little stack going before we turn around and flip through them. As we go through this first box, we'll go a little bit slower when we hit our inserts and things that are noteworthy, if you will. Then in, excuse me, in subsequent boxes, we'll probably buzz through those a little bit quicker, unless, of course, they're very low numbered, and obviously our hits, we won't, we'll take a little time with those, but that's kind of how we're going to roll through this, given that it is a lot of cards. Let me get some sleeves out on the table, and we're going to get rolling here. Jay Allen, I did get some Dynasty, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. In years past, when I've broken Dynasty, I've not had very good luck. I almost always lose money on it, and it's such a nice product. I always hate to lose money on it. So, I don't know. I may just sell it out by the case. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to break any of it. I might, but I'm undecided. All right, so here's an example, of course, of a rookie card. So that is going to ship to the teams because that's not veteran base. This other stuff that we saw, this first group of stuff, that is your example of veteran base. That is the stuff that doesn't go to the teams. Rookie cards do go to the teams. Inserts, such as this one, this little hollow foil spark plugs insert, that sorts and goes to the teams. And of course, then we're back to some veteran base here, which doesn't go. So that's kind of how we're going to figure this stuff out. The Dwayne Wade tribute is technically an insert, so that will go to the teams. Zero Gravity go to the teams. Basically everything other than veteran base goes to the teams. Rookie cards, of course, go to the teams. So that's kind of giving you an idea of how this is going to look as we go along tonight. You know I can't say this guy's name to save my soul. Brazescus, however you say it, he is our first autograph out tonight. So the New York Knicks drawing first blood, if you will, autograph number 1 for the Knicks. And this, again, is an example of an insert. You can see it's numbered down there to 99 with Bogdanovic. You'll also note that he's in a Pacers uniform, but Jazz is the team there noted on the card. You can find the little traded date and information on there. Jazz, of course, again, noted on the back. So it's always going to go to the team that is designated on the card, which is not always the same as the uniform that you see on the card, because sometimes the pictures are a bit outdated. That's why I point that out. So plenty of them are going to be numbered very high, like this one is, the Road to the Finals. That particular one is to 999. There will be other Road to the Finals that could be lower numbered. It really depends on what round they are associated with. But in the future, if they're not fairly low numbered, we'll just kind of keep on trucking. NBA City. It's another example of an insert. Of course, it does go to the teams. And another hollow foil here with a little Kyrie Irving. And that is called Action Shots. And then some more veteran base. So I think everybody's probably got a pretty good idea at this point, like what is veteran base, what isn't. So we won't maybe talk as much about veteran base as we go. We'll just kind of sort it and roll onward. That looks like that should be numbered, doesn't it? Wonder if it is. Guess it's not, but it looks like it should be. We're going to set that aside. I think that's parallel of some sort, even though it's not numbered. I'll double check it, but I'm pretty sure that it is. Charles Barkley, any of these tributes that we see, those are inserts. So again, those go to the teams. There's another Road to the Finals. That one is numbered to 2019, so it's even higher than the other one we saw a minute ago, which was to 999. So keeping us on our toes with some of the higher numbered things, aren't they? Yeah, this is an insert of some sort by the coloring. It's not numbered, but it's still considered an insert. It is not veteran based. Usually Brad is asking if there are red variations in this. You know what? I assume there are. Generally, Hoops has red back variations, but I don't necessarily look at the back of all the cards because we're talking about 2,400 cards in this break. And of course, the veteran base, they all go to the veteran base category regardless, and everything else is going to sort out to the teams. So, if it's a hit, we are going to turn it over and look at it, of course. If it's low numbered or autographed or whatever, we automatically look at the back of those. But as far as like the standard ones, I generally don't flip those over in a break like this with that many cards. Also, I cannot swear to you that it has red variation, but I assume that it does because all the other years of Hoops had, or do. Black is the standard, by the way. Black writing on the back of the card is the standard. The red is the variation. But Brad, if you wanted to look through, depending on how many cards we have sorted out that are not veteran base at the end of the break, we might conceivably be able to go through those at a pretty quick little clip at the very end if you so chose. But of course, all the vet base, there will be massive amounts of those cards. It's another insert because, we're talking, this is close to 2,400 cards in this break. Won't be exactly 2,400, but it will be a lot. Maurice Cheeks for the 76ers is our second autograph. So we've got a little throwback happening there for the Sixers. So Sixers and the Knicks, our two autographs here out of box number 1. That's Backstage Pass, a new insert series for this year. I don't think those are numbered, and generally also in Hoops, if these are numbered, that's the nice thing about Hoops, they're typically numbered on the front. Some card sets number on the back. Hoops tends to number on the front, which makes our lives a little bit easier in many regards, most regards. We got Next with Zion there. It's another insert series that I think we had that last year, actually. I don't remember it being in Hoops. I thought it was in something else, but maybe it was in Hoops last year too. So at any rate, little insert headed out there. Jay Allen, you're out of here, and you just want us to work the mojo on your Trailblazers. All right, but I will do my best to find you some Trailblazers. High Voltage. It's a nice looking card. Anthony Davis and the Lakers. And once again, same thing. He's in a Pelicans uniform, but you ignore that because the team that is noted on the card itself is Lakers. That happens a lot in basketball, more so than any of the other sports. They will show them in their older uniforms and just have the team updated. A courtside insert for the Clippers. It's kind of a cool looking card. A hollow foil. Again, doesn't appear to be numbered on there, but still nice looking little card. And what else? I guess that's probably about the majority of what we're going to find. I think we've probably just about seen it. Oh, no, right as I say that, here's an insert we haven't seen yet. Tip-off. So, right as I'm thinking, yeah, that's all the inserts there are this year. It proves me wrong, and there are more. And here's still another one, Legends of the Ball. And that particular one headed to the Celtics. All right, so yeah, my favorite thing about Hoops, probably your favorite thing as well, is the autographs of our rookies in their NBA uniforms. But there are tons of inserts in here as well, of course. That one is numbered to 199. It's a hollow foil Rudy Gay for the Spurs. And, of course, any hollow foils, again, are considered inserts and go accordingly to the teams. And I guess that's about what we're looking at. I so wish that they would make these smaller cases, though. I don't know why they insist on doing 20-box cases of a product that has so many base cards in it. Because, you know, I mean, like, everybody prefers to do the full case at once, don't you? I mean, I kind of do. Most things. Not everything is feasible to do as a full case for a variety of reasons. But given the option, most of the time, I would probably take the full. But boy, doing a 20 box of this would be crazy. I mean, I'm sure there are people doing it, but it'd be a really long break. Not to mention sorting. Unless they were just shipping the hits, which also, of course, is possible. But I do always look forward to seeing them in their uniforms for the first time in any of the products, NBA, NFL, of course, Major League Baseball. They usually do have them in their pro uniforms, except in the minor league products, of course. But we've got more hoops to do besides just this case. I think I've got, I don't know, I think I've got about 3 cases of hoops this year. So maybe, depending on, we'll see how long this one takes tonight. Maybe somewhere down the road, we might do it one as a full case, although I still think that might be kind of crazy. But you never know. You never know what you might talk me into somewhere down the line. All right, next up it is Cameron Johnson for the Phoenix Suns is our next autograph out. Yeah, don't look back. As I mentioned before, you know, that first box is always the slowest because we take a little bit of time to discuss what is in there so that everybody is familiar. And then we do definitely speed it up as we go along. So, yeah, that's that. Oh, I laid that in the wrong spot. That is, of course, you probably might not have been on here right at the beginning, but yeah, I do usually warn you guys that the first box is always the slowest. To 199, the Raptors. So it definitely, I mean, I know it takes a while, which can be frustrating. I get it. That's actually a little bit lower road to the finals to 499. They do actually go lower than that, but you don't pull a lot of them that are lower than that. Most of the road to the finals are in that 999 to 2019 range and like that. Another high voltage for the Raptors, that one. Is that a, yeah, just the base. Nasir Little, there's one for Jay Allen and his Trailblazers. I believe that's who he had tonight. I'm pretty sure that's what he said. So he's going to be happy, hitting right away. Out of box number 2. And another hollow foil to 199. That is Eric Pascal for the Warriors. I tell you what, let's go ahead and get, there's not going to be a ton of those 199 hollow foils, so let's just go ahead and get them inserted in sleeves, and that way we'll keep that train rolling like that. Now that I know there's not going to be like one every other card. Because, you know, obviously it takes time to stop and sleeve them. And sometimes if there's a ton of stuff like that, I will skip it and do it after the fact. But it doesn't look like there's going to be a lot of that tonight. You want to spend more time on the autographs? Like, you know, I do recap them at the end if you missed any of them, but I can certainly, if you, I mean, we generally look at the front and the back, but did you need to, was there other information on there? Don't look back that I can read out for you or help you with as we do come across those autographs. Just let me know if that's the case. Because I know, yeah, these breaks are boring. I mean, I totally know they are. we really mainly care about basically 2 cards per box. And, I mean, definitely there's some of the inserts are, some people like more than others. Some people don't even care about anything but the hits in here. But some like the inserts, too. I personally do like the inserts. That one, again, 2019, kind of a high number in there. Some more rookie. There's another NBA City with James Harden. Another one of our court sides. I kind of like the court sides. They're nice looking this year. High voltage. Victor Oladipo and the Pacers. There's an RJ Barrett. Is that a, no, why is, oh, that's why, because Markelle Fultz is with a new team. I was like, why isn't that an action shot? You know, usually when they're not rookies, you kind of expect they're going to be an action shot. But, of course, he was traded and I guess still kind of injured when they traded him. And speaking of action shots, that is a hollow foil action shot of Russell Westbrook for the Rockets. Once again, you know the drill. Uniform is different than the team noted on the card. Goes to the team on the card, not the uniform the player is wearing. Oh, you want to know how to tell on like the traded cards? Okay, hang on a second. Let me grab that one back because that one we can make easier. So it's always going to be oh gosh, as I pick him back up, it's always going to be the team that is noted there on the card, and the little writing on the traded guys is so small, but it's right there in white, going along the edge, and then of course the main thing is noting the team there that's on the back. Sometimes the team is going to be on the front as well. I don't know if I've got any traded right here where the team is on the front, but I'm sure we're going to come across another one. Yeah, here's one, for instance. So, you can see the team there on the front, the team is there on the back as well, and then somewhere down the side is your little white writing. So that is how you can tell what the team is. It's not really the uniform, it's going to be the team that's printed on there. Tyler Herro for the Miami Heat with We Got Next, and I thought that was going to be signed based on the way it was laying in there, but it is a hollow foil, so a slight variation there for Tyler Herro and the Heat. I'll try to keep an eye out if I see some more that are traded, and we can, in different configurations, I can give you an idea of where to look to see that information. That's a tip-off hollow foil, and we've got two different teams on that one, so it's going to sit right up there. And we will, at the end of the break, there may have been another tip-off that went through earlier that I did not set aside, but when we do random to give those out, it will apply to any that I have in the stack, okay? So basically what we'll do when we get to that is it will be left side of the card, right side of the card, and then that will apply, of course, to any tip-off cards. Even if I accidentally forgot to set some aside, it will always go to either the team on the left or the right, but it will do, of course, all that at the very, very end of the break. Get all of it sorted out and settled up. I don't know, there might be a couple of others in here. But I think there was another one or two that didn't initially get set aside. But as I said, it'll apply to all of them. So, because I don't generally do those one card at a time, because there's often many of the tip-off inserts. So it's easier just to do either left or right, and then it will apply across the board. I was happy that my Kentucky Wildcats got off to a good start to start off our season in Madison Square Garden. I think that's where they were playing, wasn't it? Or was it? I don't know. I think it was. I missed the first part of the game. Obviously, I was doing a break last night, but I got to catch the back half of it. Saw our little freshman Tyrese Maxey, man. Like, I knew the kid was supposed to be good, but whew, he was pretty impressive. Say I like Tyrese, so let's hope he plays like that all year, right? I mean, that was a heck of a debut for him. He's just fearless out there. But of course, that's how they're supposed to be. So playing his part well. The worst part of it is always getting everything out of the wrappers. Takes longer than anything else. All right, let's get rolling through here. Tyler Hero, of course, has already been off to a pretty good start, which is nice. There's another courtside T-Wolves. High voltage for the 76ers with Embiid. Of course, the Sixers are going to look a little different this year, too. Now that Jimmy Butler rolled on down to... Where did he go? Did he go to the Heat, wasn't it? Jimmy Butler went to the Heat. I have to think about where he went. I think it was the Heat. Brad said, oh, yeah, the transfer. You're right. Nate Sestina. Yeah. You are absolutely right. Of course, again, I only got to see the back part of the game. But, yeah, Sestina was all over the boards for what I saw. This is numbered to 999. Another high-numbered road to the finals. You know, and again, guys, some of these corners on these dark-colored cards, especially, you see little tiny bits of white from chipping and whatnot right out of the pack. You don't notice it too much when they're white on the back, but you notice it a little bit when they have dark color backgrounds, but nothing too outrageous. Just the usual that we've come to expect. Quinn Buckner and the Milwaukee Bucks, as numbered to 25 down there in that lower right-hand corner. So the Bucks. I think that's our first autograph out of this box, I do believe. But yeah, Sestina, I forgot all about that. I think he was in I got into maybe a little bit of foul trouble. Not bad, but I gather a little bit anyway. But he did look good. And he hit a nice long three, too. So... Bruno Fernando for the Atlanta Hawks. Hot signature for the rookies, or hot rookies, I guess, technically is what that card set would be, more or less. A hollow foil numbered to 99. Mr. Kobe Bryant and the Lakers on a tribute insert to 99. But yeah, Sestina looks like he's going to be the real deal too, so you're dead on that. Dead on that call. And we kind of needed an upgrade there at that position, so I'm happy with it. Grad transfer in. A hollow foil Embiid action shots, and same as, guys, you know, again on all these dark colored ones, you see a little bit of white on all those corners. Another backstage pass, that one for the Nuggets. And there we go there. Oh, and I missed the first part of your question, Brad. You're asking where I am. I'm in Kentucky. That's why I like my UK Wildcats. That's where I went to school, actually. I graduated from the University of Kentucky. So I like my cats. Which also means I don't have any particular loyalty to any singular NBA team. Because just in general, I want my former Wildcats to do well, no matter what team they're on. So I have a tendency to follow a lot of different NBA teams, but my college loyalties are firmly with my Kentucky Wildcats. I know that makes some people are like, oh, that makes me mad, you know. But I think there's room for everybody. No matter who you're a fan of. I mean, that's part of the fun of being a fan, right? Having rivalries, I think. Oh, yeah. So, see, you're the same as me. Brad's a Reds fan, too. So, he's in the same boat as me. I'm a Cincinnati Reds, my baseball team. UK's my basketball team collegiately, and, you know, basketball and football college-wise. And my football team, I bet we're different on, though, Brad. My football team, pro football team, is the Steelers. A zero gravity Giannis Antetokounmpo. That is a hollow foil. And since it was flipped around backwards, you know, we figure it's a little special. Most of those are not hollow foils in that insert set. And, of course, the Greek Freak is the Milwaukee Bucks. So, yeah, most people in this area, I guess, are probably more Bengals fans or Colts fans, something like that. But I am firmly in the camp of the Pittsburgh Steelers, although, again, I watch lots of other teams because I want our UK guys to do well no matter what team they're on. We just don't have as many pro football players as we do pro basketball players come out of UK. Dwight Powell, hollow foil, 199, Dallas Mavericks. Ah, yeah, so you're a Colts guy. Okay, all right. Yeah, my dad is a big Colts fan as well. He really likes, that's an NBA city, DeMar DeRozan for the Spurs. He's a big fan of the Colts. I don't really have any strong feelings about the Colts one way or the other, you know. Most of the teams that I feel strongly about are Steelers rivalry teams. High voltage Paul George Clippers. Which, again, I think is about true of everybody. We all have our strongest feelings about our fiercest rivals, right? Brad, you said even though Peyton Manning went to Tennessee, you just loved watching him play. Well, he was quite good. We haven't seen a lot of spark plugs, as a matter of fact. This is maybe only our second or third one in here. But that was Trae Young for the Atlanta Hawks. So those maybe aren't falling quite as freely as perhaps some of our other inserts. John Wall was at the Kentucky game last night. Of course, he's out injured at the moment from the Wizards. Another zero gravity, DeMar DeRozan. Always like to see our guys come back and support the new teams, the babies, the baby cats. Action shots, Jason Tatum. That one's got a terrible corner down there in the lower right. You could probably see that white down there on it. So that's probably one of the worst corners we've seen. And it's still probably pretty typical, more or less typical, but I do tend to point them out if I see them. So, Brad, with you being in Eastern Kentucky, what do you think about EKU? Are you an EKU fan at all, or you strictly Wildcats? No EKU. I watch a little EKU and a little Western Kentucky too if I get the opportunity. Of course, not many chances to see them usually, but occasionally. Man, I wish they made the wrappers the way Topps does. You know, with Topps, you can grab a little seam and just whoosh the whole way down the wrapper, and it's faster and quieter. But you can't do that on Panini wrappers. You have to open them up at the seams. I wish somebody at Panini would call someone at Topps and say, hey, where do you get your wrappers made? Boy, it sure would make my life easier. Oh, your sister-in-law graduated from Eastern, I'm assuming, right? And you have a good friend that graduated from Western. Oh, and he's Justin Johnson playing in Italy now. Well, that's cool. You know, a lot of those overseas contracts are quite lucrative. I mean, maybe not the same as making millions in the NBA, but still pretty good money. Not to mention you get to travel around, see the world. while you're working. And sometimes, you know, they go over and come back. And then end up finding a home after they get a couple of years experience internationally. They find a home on an NBA team sometimes. So you never know what it might lead to. Courtside. Blazers was that one. Another high number, 2019, road to the playoffs. These inserts that are unnumbered, that's for the Nets and Spencer Dinwiddie. A spark plug for Russell Westbrook. There's another example of a guy who's been traded, but there's your Rockets logo there, your traded information, and then, of course, says the Rockets on the back as well. So once again, just the quick little reminder. I know we've talked about it, but people do jump in and out of these breaks. So always going to go to the team as written on the card, not the uniform the player is wearing. Sometimes they're the same, sometimes they're not. Here we've got a ready for takeoff NBA Hoops Ja Morant insert. Made up to look like the front of a magazine cover there. Pretty cool, right? Ja Morant should be pretty good for the Grizzlies. And NBA City Antetokounmpo for the Bucks. Larry Bird tribute. Son De'Aaron Fox. He's, of course, the Kings. I don't think I said that, but probably everybody knows that since that's not a rookie. Courtside for the Rockets. De'Aaron, I think, is actually, well, always thought he was going to be pretty good, but I think he struggled a bit his rookie year. He's kind of coming back into his own now. Mo Wagner, another example of a traded player. Wizards, as you see, although that's veteran base, so it doesn't really matter. All those go to one spot anyway. High voltage, Devin Booker, been lighting it up already this year for the Suns. Look, he had another 40-point game not too long ago, didn't he? I mean, that kid can just flat out shoot. He just gets after it. Alex English. Looks like we're going to have an autograph hit here, I believe, for the Nuggets and Alex English. Let me just get some of this other stacked a little bit out of the way, and then we're going to take a look at Alex here for the Denver Nuggets. I don't see any numbering on that one offhand. NBA City, Orlando Magic. See it up there in the upper right on that particular card set. They do like to move them around, keep us on our toes. Trae Young, NBA City. And this is a hollow foil, so most, of course, of our NBA Cities are just the flat, regular card. So the hollow foil, a little different twist on it there. Willie Cauley-Stein, of course, with the Golden State Warriors now. Kings gave up on him, I guess. Kawhi Leonard, action shots. Clippers, that's the reason I flipped that over, was to show you that it said Clippers and then didn't say Clippers. I didn't say Clippers after I flipped it over. I got distracted thinking about Willie Cauley-Stein. This number to 2019, Road to the Finals, James Harden. There's another tip-off. And, of course, we'll add it up there to our stack. Those will be handled at the end of the break using random.org. And see, every time I see that Markelle Fultz, I think it's a rookie card, and it's not. It's just because his picture is a studio shot. I keep thinking he's a rookie card, and he's not. Grant Williams, hollow foil, 199. Little rookie action for the Boston Celtics. Hollow foil highlights. And that is Russell Westbrook when he was still with the Thunder. So there's going to be, Russell Westbrook in here both ways, as we've already seen. This particular one, though, as marked as the Thunder, will, of course, go to the Thunder. The other ones that have been updated, as we saw on some different inserts to show a different team, will go to the team as designated. So looks like we're going to have maybe a little of each for him. NBA City for the Cavs. And Ty Jerome coming up on our second, what I believe is going to be our second autograph here for this box. For the Phoenix Suns, every once in a while they'll fool me. It'll be facing the wrong way and not an autograph, but that one is. So Ty Jerome, autograph number 2 out of this box. Myers Leonard, this hollow foil is numbered to 25, so very low number there. An example of a traded player, as you can see, going to the Miami Heat for Myers Leonard, numbered to 25. Another Zero Gravity. Lots of tribute cards in there this year, huh? All right, moving on to the next box. Have a little caffeine there. I hate that it gets dark so early now. I always feel like it's so much later than it is when it gets dark at 5 o'clock. I guess slightly after 5:15, 5:30, something like that. But anyway, dark so early. I hate it. Hate it, hate it. Not much we can do about it, though. Of course, there are, hang on a minute, there's a piece of wrapper in there. There are some places that don't ever change. They don't do daylight savings time, but outside of that, I've always kind of thought that was odd, too. The places that don't do it, I really kind of wish nobody would do it. I don't even know if it's relevant anymore. Because that was more, you hate to say kind of back in the old days, but kind of was back in the old days. To give farmers and things more light to get their crops in and stuff, wasn't it? Wasn't that the original intent of it? And of course, these days, everything's so automated and whatnot. You don't have to worry as much about things of that nature, not like you would have many, many years ago. Almost there. art's over with for a minute anyway. Right away, we're going to find an autograph, and how about it? It is an ex-UK player. I started to say used to be a UK player, and then I mangled it getting it out. But it's for the Charlotte Hornets. P.J. Washington. Been off to a pretty good start as well. So the Hornets get a nice one. Road to the finals. That one is to 999. Kevin Durant. Warriors. Devin Booker spark plug insert. I think all the spark plugs are hollow foil. They have been up to this point, so I'm going to assume that they all are. The court side, that one's for the Lakers. Unless we see one that proves us otherwise, I think we can at this point say spark plugs will be hollow foil. There's an NBA City for the Grizzlies with the Triple J, Jaren Jackson Jr. De'Aaron Fox, Zero Gravity. There's a hollow foil. He's the Kings, of course. And we've got a Steph Curry facing around the other way. Action Shots hollow. I don't know why that particular one's facing around. All of our other action shots have been hollow foils as well. And that one wasn't numbered either, but who knows? They just decided to put it together that way, I suppose, that day. NBA City for the Atlanta Hawks. Yeah, whoever's got the veteran base coming, it's going to be a lot of cards. I'm sure you knew that, though, when you bid on it. You're like, yes, it's Christmas. Bazillion cards. Kind of will be, too, won't it? Dwight Powell is facing around backwards because it is numbered to 199. A hollow foil for the Dallas Mavericks. I guess all of our inserts are just facing backwards in this little run. Kevin Durant, and you will note Nets. Even though, again, Warriors is the uniform, Nets noted on the card. So aside from Zion, which I think everybody can agree on is going to be awfully good, who do you guys think is going to be, let's just call him the second best rookie? Who's going to be right beneath Zion in terms of rookie production this year? Any thoughts? I mean, I know it's super soon to be kind of speculating on that, but come on, we all do it. This is numbered to 2019. There's another James Harden for the Rockets. Looks like Wayne Ellington is going to be our next signature. For the Knicks. And again, I know he's in a different uniform, but Knicks. Grant Williams and the Celtics to 199, hollow foil. High voltage for the Heat with Jimmy Butler. So that answers my earlier question when I was sitting there pondering, was it the Heat that he went to? Yeah, that answers it. Definitely it was. because there it tells us on that card. Backstage pass for LeBron and the Lakers. Boy, didn't Anthony Davis get everybody all bent out of shape the other day. When somebody was talking to him when they were playing in Chicago about what it would be like to play for Chicago. And, oh, yeah, that might be fun. I might consider that or whatever. I didn't say it quite like that, but that's basically the impression that he gave. And, of course, he could be a free agent after this year. So, meanwhile, the whole world goes nuts over that comment. Another tip-off. So all of our tip-offs, once again, we'll set right up there to find a home at the end of the break. We'll use random.org to make that happen. Nerlens Noel, Oklahoma City Thunder on the variation, unnumbered variation for OKC. Did we pull a Jalen, I can't say his last name properly. Not as far as I know. Not in terms of autographs. Now, for like rookie cards or inserts or something, oh gosh, well, anything is possible there. But not as far as autographs go, no. To 2019, Jaylen Brown, Celtics. An action series coming up here for Devin Booker. Just be a hollow foil. Should be. And those, of course, are unnumbered on those action stars. That one actually has a little bit of a rough edge, too. Generally, it's more the corners we worry about on the hollow foil, but that one did have a little bit of an edge imperfection as well. Another Who Got Next with Tyler Hero. We are officially halfway there. 5 opened, 5 to go. Brad, you said RJ, you think RJ Barrett is going to be the next best behind Zion? Tyler Hero has been playing well, you're right. And I agree with you that a lot of the rookies have played pretty well early on. But yeah, I do think RJ Barrett honestly got a little bit overlooked. It's kind of hard not to, considering so many guys came out of that program and everybody was kind of overshadowed by Zion. But I'll agree with you, RJ Barrett, I think, stands a strong chance. And it depends on how Tyler develops. I mean, if Tyler keeps getting better, then yeah, I think he could be in the mix there too. And I like Tyler, of course. He's a UK guy, but you gotta tip the hat to Zion. You know, nobody's gonna best him in this year. I do not believe. Oh, you said the guy whose name I can't pronounce, the Suns player. Yeah, I know, Ty. I'm so terrible at pronouncing names, like just the worst. It's really embarrassing, but I'm very bad at it. I just own it, though. I will at least tell you. But as far as I know, no Jalen autographs. Well, definitely no Jalen autographs. I don't know about the other inserts and whatnot. But you said even though you lost the auction for the Suns, you still want to just hang out and see if it hits. I do that sometimes too. I'll admit it. But also I will tell you that it breaks my heart if then I see something hit and I got outbid. Oh, it's the worst. God, I had a terrible run of that a while back when a couple years ago, I was chasing an Antonio Brown rookie card. There was a breaker doing a ton of 2010 stuff. And I break some 2010 stuff too, but, you know, can't get in my own breaks. I could, but I don't. You know, you could by holding out teams, but I don't do that. All of them go up. But anyway, I kept jumping in, and I would periodically, you know, I'd get outbid, and I would still watch. And I swear to you, it was like all the times I would get outbid, there would be the card I wanted. And then when I would win, I would never get it. And it would so frustrate me. And then finally one day I did hit it. And I was thrilled. But all those times I watched when I didn't, oh, it killed me. Because I would always tell myself, man, if I had just bid, you know, an extra dollar or an extra 50 cents or whatever. But the truth of the matter is, I have no idea what the guy's high bid was that I was going up against. You know, you always just think the next bid increment would have gotten it, but realistically it might not have. But it always made me feel terrible until I hit it. And then, as you say, the days where you don't hit it, then you feel a little better because you're like, ooh, I saved some money. I got outbid, but my guy didn't hit, so I saved some money. So, yeah, can go both ways. Donovan Mitchell and the Jazz, that's another lower right that's kind of bad there. You can see that little bit of white chipping down there, hanging out in that lower corner. This is numbered to 2019. That is one Lou Williams for the Clippers. The forgotten team in Los Angeles. Raptors. It's like even with Kawhi Leonard, I just, you know, for whatever reason, the Clippers just don't have a good fan base in LA. And they should be pretty good. So I don't, this year anyway, I mean, maybe they're not good every year, but they're pretty good most years. But everybody's all Lakers, Lakers, Lakers. Nobody likes Clippers. Well, people do, but not probably more people outside of LA. Kind of like with the Rams, right? Like nobody likes the Rams. So, well, the Chargers are worse. They don't really like either of them, but I guess they like the Rams better than the Chargers, but LA is very fickle about their sports teams. All right, we have Mahmoud Abdul. How are we going to go with Roof? Ralph? Let's go with Roof. Mahmoud Abdul Rauf. I'm sure that's wrong. Anyway, there he is. Sacramento Kings for, I think, our first autograph out of this box, wasn't it? Yeah, I think Wayne Ellington was out of the last box. NBA City, Philadelphia 76ers. Oh, Ty, you said that's what's been happening to you the last couple of weeks, is that you've been watching and then it hits when you don't have it and that sort of thing. Oh, yeah, it's the worst. But listen, after all that work I did and all that money I spent, all those tears I cried, not literal tears, but figurative tears, trying to hit that card, and I finally hit it. And then, of course, Antonio Brown loses his mind. And now, like, I don't even want the card. He's not a Steeler anymore, and he just dipped right over the bend, and now he's crazy, and nobody wants the card, including me. So what are you going to do? It's mine now. Now I just look at it and think, man, why'd I get that card? I'm fickle, right? I know. But, man, he went off the deep end. Courtside 76ers. I mean, totally, completely off the deep end. And someone tried to take a little flyer on me there. Mr. Bowl. Took a little leap. But fortunately, he didn't go far. Donovan Mitchell and the Jazz. M was no worse for the wear. He just went right on to the little pile next door. Sometimes they do like to hang on to the card in front of them or behind them, as the case may be. NBA City Lakers. Ty, you said you haven't won anything that you've been chasing lately. Well, do you have like a little, I don't know what I would call it, a fail-safe or a fallback or whatever term you want to use? That's the 2019 Jamal Murray, Denver Nuggets. In basketball, I always use, this is going to sound weird, and I know it is, even as I say it. I know it's going to sound weird. High voltage Spurs, DeMar DeRozan. But when I got stuck in basketball, which used to happen to me quite frequently, where I just seemed like I'd go forever and I couldn't get a hit, or I would get outbid on my team, or I don't know. It's just like in a bad mojo spot. I would always go after the Nets. And not because I liked the Nets or because they had any particularly good players at that point in time, but they always seemed to hit. It's like weird how often the Nets hit in basketball, considering. I mean, they have some superstar types now, but they didn't always. And for whatever reason, then if I would get a hit for the Nets, then I would feel better and kind of correct my mojo, cleanse my palate, if you will, and then I could usually go on back to my other teams and feel a little better about things. So, I don't know. I know that's weird, but sometimes stuff like that works. But it was always the Nets that I did in basketball. Because, well, A, they never went for very much money, so I didn't care what I got, But also because they hit so much. The Lakers and LeBron with a hollow foil backstage pass. And honestly, that picture doesn't even really look all that much like LeBron, does it? I mean, kind of it does, but not really. Sort of, I guess. But I like the card set. Backstage pass. Card set's nice. I like anything that's a little different. They add something into the mix for us. Okiki. Comes a little Chuma for the Orlando Magic. Mr. Okiki with a rookie ink for autograph number 2 out of this box. Justin Jackson, 199 hollow foil Dallas Mavericks. And a hollow foil Jeremy Lamb, numbered to 99 for the Pacers. You were going to wait for some of the singles to get on eBay. Yeah, I mean, I tell you the truth. This is another one of those things I probably shouldn't admit. But I don't know. Something about breaking, it like triggers that little part of my brain that says, ooh, right? So I know for a fact that there are tons of times when I could buy a card, the exact card I want, for less money than I would spend chasing it in breaks and or opening personal boxes myself. But because I don't get the same little reward center lighting up in my brain, I don't do it. It's somehow not as much fun to me. Like I don't, this is going to, again, sound strange, but it's like I almost don't like the card as much if I just buy it outright. I have some kind of weird sense of pride or ownership or something if I pull it in a break that somebody else is doing, or if I pull it in a personal box that I'm opening. So, yeah, there's that. And I definitely know for a fact that I often spend way more money that way than if I just bought the card outright, but I just can't do it. Every once in a while, I'll buy one, but not very often. I like to chase them. Ty, there are 2 autographs per box in Hoops. So, what do we open in this half case? 10 boxes, yeah. So we'll have 20 autographs when we're all said and done out of this half. Not too shabby. Well, Brad, you're exactly right. It is the chase. I mean, it's a socially acceptable form of gambling, in my opinion. But so is playing the stock market and lots of other things. And there is some upside to it, obviously. We can make money on it if you so choose. I tend to collect more when I'm buying into breaks, I tend to go after the players specifically that I want, or the specific team that I want. So I'm not one that does a lot of reselling of single cards, although I should, because I have a ton of them. that I've gotten along the way chasing the stuff that I do want. But I don't really sell them. I don't know. I've just got them. I keep them. But I need to probably sell them because I have so many. Jay Allen, I thought you had given up on us tonight. I don't think we had any more Trailblazers. We had a Charlotte Hornet, but you said you didn't have the Hornets tonight. We had PJ Washington, and I thought of you when we hit it because you do sometimes have them. But I think that was it for the Blazers. So far, anyway. Well, you know, we still got a bit to go, so. For the Grizzlies, Swift. Stromile, Swift. It's a throwback. I just don't remember this particular player. I will freely admit to you, I do not remember that particular player. Kobe White, Chicago Bulls on We Got Next. Another courtside. That one's the Lakers and LeBron. So I hear that LaMelo Ball is burning it up in, I think it's Australia he's playing in, right? I'm hearing that he's going nuts. That's the Nuggets and Jokic hollow foil. And might be playing himself into the early part of the draft next year if he keeps going. Bradley Beal, Wizards. Spark plugs. But for what it's worth, I think Lonzo's probably better off in New Orleans than he was with the Lakers. To 2019 Steph Curry Warriors. Even though that's where his rather overbearing father wanted him to be, I think he's better off in New Orleans. I feel a ref edge on this, all right? I haven't flipped it over to see it yet, but I feel it. It's James Harden and the Rockets. And you can kind of see it there, too. I mean, it's just very poorly cut. It's got some kind of jagged edges over there. We witnessed that on another card earlier. It's highlights. Hollow foil. So these definitely, we've seen a few of these go by that have what I'm just going to call jagged, ragged edges. Cut, not a clean cut on them. So I don't know what Panini had going on there, but it's a thing. All right, Jay Allen, we will catch you later, my friend. Get some good rest tonight. I don't know how you get up so early every day. I could not do that. I hate getting up early. It's to 2019 James Harden and the Rockets. But that's probably because I stay up half the night, so there you go. It's trade-off, right? The Raptors Finals MVP is the card set there for Kawhi Leonard. It's the only one of those we've seen so far tonight. High Voltage Harden Rockets. Yeah, I've got lots of friends, Grizzlies, who are morning people. Like, oh, you know, they're like, I don't know, kind of like Snow White, you know. They bounce out of bed and they've got birds chirping around their heads and little animals singing, and they're so happy to see the start of a new day. Oh, that is not me. I get up very slowly and begrudgingly. It makes me terribly unhappy. But on the flip side, they couldn't stay up late like I do either. They would be just absolutely miserable, whereas I'm quite content and happy to stay up late. Embiid, NBA City. We've got a hollow foil for the 76ers, Mr. Embiid. Yeah, thank goodness. Doing this, I can sleep in. Another tip off up there at the top. I used to have to get up so early. I had to be, when I was, I come from the world of sales management, and for many years I was a regional sales manager for a beer distribution company. It's Porzingis as the Mavericks. And yeah, it was probably about as cool as it sounds. It was a lot of fun, but I had to be in there at 7 a.m. every day, which was horrible. And I had to drive a bit to get there because my sales team went out so early. I had to be there before they went out. But then I had another group of people whose job it was to go out and work in the bars and restaurants at night. And I also had to manage them. I didn't mind that part, so I might get home at 2 a.m. and that was all good. But then having to get back in there at 7 a.m. was dreadful. Ooh. So, I don't know. I hung in there for many, many years, but I hated it. I didn't like those early mornings. To 199, T-Wolves, Gorgijing. Well, I didn't hate the job. I hated the hours, not the job. The job was fun. I mean, it's beer. How could it not be fun? Numbered to 999, that would be Mr. Kevin Durant as a Golden State Warrior. Once again, some of the cards, he's going to be a Warrior. Some of the cards, they'll be updated to show him as a net, which we've witnessed already going through. And who have we here? Why did I lay that in the wrong place twice in a row? I don't know. We have Diumbo. Oh, it's sad, really, isn't it? You'd think. Grown woman, can't pronounce names. Hernandez, Dewan Hernandez, hollow foil, 199, Toronto Raptors. They lost Kawhi, but they've still got that pretty little trophy to keep them warm at night. Personally, I don't begrudge the guys that get their trophy and leave. Especially, I mean, come on. He was kind of a rental anyway. Everybody knew he was going to do something different after the 1 year, and the guy comes up there and brings home the hardware. Yeah. Can't hate on him for leaving. Oh, I just saw our cat yawn, and now I want to yawn. Isn't that awful? You know it's contagious from people, but literally I just looked up, saw the cat yawn, and then I'm like, oh man, now I need to yawn. Sad but true. I don't know why the cat would be yawning anyway. Cat sleeps all day. Cat like sleeps all day. So how is the cat tired? The cat's just like, man, this break is boring. That's probably what it is. Cat's like, wow, there's not very many hits. Actually, there's a good number of hits in here for basketball, especially, which is notorious for not having as many hits as you find in other sports. The problem is the vast number of base cards that go along with it. I mean, we're spoiled now getting lots of hits with fewer base cards in most of our releases. So when we go back to these that are approaching, 220 cards or so a box, we forget. This is what they all used to be like. Once upon a time in a land far, far away when gum would be in the package with your cards. For the Jazz, we have Raja Bell. Autograph number 1 out of box number 8. Shows up pretty early. But yeah, I definitely get spoiled to that. Devin Booker and the Suns with an action shot. That one has a bad lower left corner. Big chunk of white sticking off of it. Another rookie card for Hernandez. Do you think the Suns are finally going to be good? It's kind of looking like they might be finally putting it together, doesn't it? I've been thinking for quite some time now that the Suns ought to be much better than they have been. But they might be finally getting their act together in Phoenix. He says yes. Go Suns. Yeah, I do. I think they're finally getting it rolling down there. Of course, I like the Suns because it was kind of like University of Kentucky West for a while. They had a lot of UK players in Phoenix, so I do watch the Suns and want them to do well. So I'm glad to see they're finally, I think, getting on the right track. Yeah, but there for a while, I can't even think how many ex-UK guys we had on the Suns at one time. It was 4 or 5 there for a while. Little spark plug Devin Booker, speaking of. But I like that my man Booker is making it rain. Shooting those threes like there's no tomorrow. And he was pretty young when he went. Of course, I guess most of these guys these days are, but... A road to the finals to 2019. Pascal Siakam, Raptors. A high voltage Kevin Durant, Nets. Of course, we'll see Luka paired up with Kristaps. That ought to be interesting. Kristaps, of course, out by the time that trade happened with the injury. And that happened last year, so we haven't seen them together. To 2019, Donovan Mitchell and the Jazz. Luka's still kind of the man, though. I do love Luka. Legends of the Ball, indeed. Oscar Robertson, Milwaukee Bucks. NBA City Lakers. Russell Westbrook. Note it says Rockets. Spark plugs. So, you know, before when I said there weren't all that many spark plugs coming out, I lied, I guess, because now I've seen a bunch more. Still, is it only 1 per box still? I feel like we've seen more than 1 per box. I don't know. Guess I'll find out when I sort it, but maybe it is only 1 per box, but it just feels like we've seen a lot because, well, yeah, we've opened a lot of boxes. Maybe more than 1, though. Always takes a few breaks to get a feel for how things are going. Isaiah Roby, Dallas Mavericks, Rookie Ink. A hollow foil for Mr. Willie Cauley-Stein, who is these days a Golden State Warrior, and that is numbered to 99. Poor Warriors, right? But how can you say poor Warriors when they had 8 million championships in a row? Hollow foil to 199, PJ Tucker, Houston Rockets. But it probably is hard if you're a Warriors fan, because you get used to your team just winning all the time, no matter what, just winning. Then all of a sudden, hit some hard times, and now Steph Curry's injured on top of the hard times you were already having before Steph Curry got injured. Now all of a sudden, whoops, you feel like a bunch of the other NBA teams feel. Not as good. Probably going to be hard to deal with, though, if you're a Warriors fan. I keep thinking one of these days that'll happen to the Patriots, but it hasn't. It's like they go down in the basement and build a new Tom Brady robot or something every year. It's like a brand new model of Tom Brady every year. It's crazy. We're getting there. We're getting there. Hang in there with me. I know, this is the worst part. The wrappers are the worst part, always, of any break. Because I never want to delay my gratification. I just want to open the box and, there's all my cards ready to go. No pesky wrappers. Alrighty, kids. Let's dig in. This is box number 9 of 10. So we are approaching the home stretch. We're not quite in it yet, but we're approaching it. High voltage Andrew Wiggins, T-Wolves. And Nuggets with a backstage pass. Lots and lots of rookie cards in here. A road to the finals, numbered to 499, Steph Curry, Golden State Warriors. NBA City, Victor Oladipo for the Pacers. Always kind of forget about the Pacers. I mean, they're not that far from me, just right there in Indiana, but I somehow just kind of always, they're never really on my radar. Aaron Gordon, Zero Gravity, Hollow Foil Insert. And this is numbered to 2019, Jamal Murray, Nuggets. Oh, daggone it. Sorry. Hang on one hot second. I just set those down in the exact opposite way that I intended. So there we go. Now we're back in business. Insert for Derek Favors in the Pelicans. He's in a Jazz uniform, but Pelicans player. Honestly, though, You would think a few of these they could have gotten updated, wouldn't you? I mean, some of this happened quite a while ago. How far back did they print these things? 76ers courtside. You would think. But I guess Panini doesn't agree with us. High voltage Blake Griffin and the Pistons. That is the cat having a hairball. Do you hear that? I hope you don't, but you probably do, which is why I mentioned it, because you're like, are you letting a child choke to death? It's a cat. It's a hairball. He'll pass it. It's okay. Somebody better clean it up, though. I don't want to walk down there and be in a hairball. It make me mad. Admiral Schofield, Washington Wizards. I like his autograph. It's kind of fancy, isn't it? Courtside Pistons. The lost art of the autograph. So many guys these days, they sign an initial or two initials and that's it. And you kind of wonder, okay, are you one of those kids where they didn't teach you cursive in school, or are you just super lazy? You never quite know which it is. Bill Russell, Celtics, Legends of the Hall. All those are hollow foil. But what's going to happen when we get to the generation of kids, this is Jazz, that didn't learn cursive and we expect to get their autographs and products and things? How's that going to work? Are they all just going to print their names, or are they going to sign with an X? Like, what's that going to look like? I don't know. Reggie Bullock. I do know what that looks like for the Knicks. Colin Sexton and the Cavs, number to 199. Hollow foil, Cleveland. Make sure that was just Harry Giles. Looney, Warriors. Lou Williams, 2019, Road to the Playoffs, Clippers. All right. Got another little stack left, and then we'll be heading into our last box, so we're getting close. J.R. Smith, Cleveland Cavaliers, hollow foil to 99. And there we have another Action Shots. Mr. Anthony Davis, Lakers. Hey. Spark Plugs, Lillard, and the Blazers. Another one of our tip-off cards. It's going to sit right up there in housekeeping. We'll handle it shortly. We've got one box left to look through. Then we'll get into our housekeeping task of divvying up those tip-off cards. And then after we do that, we will recap our autograph hits then from the break. But we still have one box left to look through before we do all that. This puts us officially at last box mojo time. So we're going to collectively work the mojo here, hopefully, and see if we can't come up with a really flaming hot hit. That would be my plan. See if we can get something incredibly awesome out of here. Try very hard. Oy. Can't get the edge of the wrapper. What was that? Got a friend of mine in Las Vegas right now who texted me. I saw it right before we started. Didn't even have time to reply that I guess her dad just hit the slots for like almost 600 bucks. I don't play the slots very much. I used to go to Vegas more, but I always played blackjack. These days I get my fix by doing breaks. I buy into people's breaks instead of going to Vegas. Is that equivalent? I'm going to say probably not. But it is fun. All right, let's start looking through this last box. See what magic awaits us here. A high voltage Doncic, as a matter of fact, for the Mavericks. A little love for Luka. Zero gravity Aaron Gordon and the Magic. Another John Morant insert of Legends of the Ball. Numbered to 499, Steph Curry. You know, I read something, it's been a while back now, and I can't remember who wrote it, Jazz, NBA City, but they were talking about looking at all of the number 2 picks across the NBA draft lottery and how poorly the number 2 pick had performed relative to the rest of the lottery picks. Like as in they're bad most of the time. LeBron James, zero gravity Lakers, hollow foil. Maybe not bad is not the right word, but like they don't anywhere live up to what the expectations are. No, because usually there's some debate, number 1 versus number 2. Not this year, of course, but most years. And there was this big in-depth article looking at all these number 2 picks and how they fared. I found it quite interesting. I wish I could remember where I had read it, but it was very true when they were lining it out. Nuggets, spark plugs, Jamal Murray. It was pretty persuasive article, really. Kind of made you not want to have the number 2 pick. If your team draws the second pick, you're like, ooh, wait, can I trade with somebody? Can I be 3rd instead? Luka, backstage pass, Mavericks. I don't know. It's always somebody's job to do that sort of thing. Look up odd statistics and patterns that most people wouldn't necessarily see. I would not want that to be my job. I would be very bad at a job like that. And here comes the second one for the Hornets, Cody Martin. I believe the Hornets had an autograph earlier. Now you got a bookend. Thomas Bryant, 99, Washington Wizards, hollow foil. High voltage Clippers, Montrezl Harrell. Okay, no, it did go the right way. There's Landry for the Clippers. You know, he did pretty well after he got traded to the Clippers. I was kind of surprised they traded him to begin with. Sixers, I mean. I thought he played pretty well for a rookie. Spencer Dinwiddie. Ha, what'd I tell you? Nets always hit. I was thinking about this earlier. I was like, tell that story, how I always go with the Nets because the Nets always hit. Here we are in this box, and I'm not going to have a net after I say all that. But we did, the very last one. Spencer Dinwiddie for the Nets. So there you go. To 2019, Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks. Telling you, it's uncanny. Watch breaks sometime. You'll see what I mean. They come out really more than you think they should. Giannis. NBA City Griffin for the Pistons. A hollow foiled 199, Matthew Dellavedova. Cleveland Cavaliers. Okay, kids, that is the last of what we had to do in that regard. We've got some recap to handle, but before we get to the recap, we've got some tip-off cards. And I'm going to tell you up front, I believe that I have some tip-off cards that I stacked over there with the other stuff that I'll have to sort back out. I'm going to show you the ones that I have sorted out separately, but I do think there are some that I didn't get stacked out. But it's going to apply to them nonetheless. So you can see here there is a team on the left and there is a team on the right of each one of these cards. Obviously, there are different teams given that this is an opening tip-off. Always going to be two different teams involved. Here's how we're going to do it. We're going to go to random.org and I'm going to type in left and right, which may already be typed in since we used it to determine the case. And we'll do random 3 different times, which is the way I always do it if I have fewer than 10 items in a list. 10 or more, we do it once. 9 and fewer, we do it 3 times. The first 2 times do not count. It is only going to be the third and final random that will tell us if that is going to go to the team on the left-hand side of the card or the team on the right-hand side of the card. I always type in left to right or top to bottom, depending on how a card is oriented. This is obviously left to right, so left is going in first, right is going in second. Ignore the first one. You can ignore the second one. Here comes our third and final. 3 times right down here, our date and time stamp. We're coming up to the right-hand side of the card. So here's how these are going to go. We're looking at Spurs, Raptors, Bucks, Raptors, Magic, and Magic. That's how those cards are divvied up. If we have other tip-off cards, which I think we might have a couple that are stacked over here with the main stuff that I forgot to set aside, it will be done the same way. It will go to the team on the right-hand side. To recap, there's lots of numbered stuff. I only set out the low numbered to recap, which is this one little fellow right here. He is numbered to 25. It is the Miami Heat and Myers Leonard. Everything else is numbered 99 or higher. It's the only one that was that low, I believe. I'm pretty sure. All right, so we have the Brooklyn Nets and Spencer Dinwiddie. The Charlotte Hornets with Cody Martin. Reggie Bullock and the Knicks. Admiral Schofield and the Washington Wizards. The Dallas Mavericks, Isaiah Roby. The Jazz with Raja Bell. Diembo and the Pistons. Swift and the Grizzlies. Okeke for the Magic. Abdul Rauf for the Kings. Wayne Ellington, the Knicks. P.J. Washington, Charlotte Hornets. Ty Jerome for the Suns. Alex English, Nuggets. Bruno Fernando, Atlanta Hawks. Quinn Buckner, Milwaukee Bucks. The Portland Trailblazers and Nasir Little. Phoenix Suns and Cameron Johnson. Maurice Cheeks and the 76ers. We got things started with Braziskas and the Knicks. All right, that is this half of hoops. I'm going to once again put up here shipping information, projected shipping information. We'll also take another look at what's coming up in the days ahead. For those of you who might not have been tuned in at the top and missed it, here it is coming at you now. Expecting this to be out the door on the way to you roughly Saturday. If I can get it out to you faster than Saturday, I will gladly do so. If something goes off the rails or sorting takes longer than expected or something along those lines, we could always slide to Monday, but I'm hopeful that it will be Saturday. Every team in here pulled cards because there were a bazillion cards. One final reminder, the veteran base, of course, had its own bidding category and did not ship to the teams. All the other stuff did. We talked about it throughout the break, and of course, full details can be found in the listing description as well. Tomorrow night, we're going to open Phoenix Football Master Case. A master case is really just 2 8-box cases in a bigger box. Panini likes to get all fancy so they can get more money per case, quote unquote. They're still just giving us 2 cases in a bigger box. But anyway, that's what we're opening. 16 boxes of Phoenix Football tomorrow night. Friday night is the release of Flawless Basketball. We're going to open a half case of that and a 12-box case of Prism Football. Saturday, we're going to break the back half of this case of hoops that we started tonight. We're going to finish it up Saturday night. We will start at 8:30 Eastern, which is 5:30 Pacific. Sunday night will be an off night. Monday night, Leaf Best Baseball, Immaculate Basketball, and Gold Label Baseball, all by the full case on Monday night. And that, I believe, has us wrapped up for this evening. As always, I appreciate you being here. Thank you once again for joining me. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. If I don't see you again tomorrow night, come by and see me again sometime soon. I like the company. See you next time. Bye.